Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at our sentences. Okay.
Smiley.
Yeah. Okay. So 窓を閉めてもいいですか? Which is
May I open the window? Or close?
yeah. Thank you.
I think I thought of writing
Okay.
open before, and then I decided to write close.
Okay. And it,
黒板を消してもいいですか?
はい、いいですよ。はい。And over here. Who wrote this one? I'll let you read it. I'll let you read it.
今日はクラスに行って、それから図書館で勉強しました。
はい、いいですね。And the last one.
私は喫茶店で食べ物を食べて日本語を勉強しました。
はい、いいですね。And note that the それから here isn't really needed.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I should
So
or
you can
shouldn't.
say 今日はクラスに行って図書館で勉強しました。That
Okay.
works. それから actually is usually used to start a new sentence. So it actually sounds a little odd coming after a te form.
Okay.
Because the te form already implies sequence of events. Okay? So, I'll just erase this board because I hardly ever get over here otherwise. Okay. じゃあ、いいですか? 次。Okay, so flashcards. I think in the process of putting the flashcards away, I forgot to leave out the separation of which ones the other class separated out from the others, but you know what? We're just gonna do all of them quickly, I hope. Oh, here, this is how they separated. All of these were in one pile, all of these were in the other pile. So, do you guys want to go through all of them just in case and see if you agree with their assessment of which ones to leave aside?
Sure we did.
Okay, so these were all the ones that they had put aside as knowing them pretty well. So, let's see if you guys agree. Anybody remember what it means? Or maybe these are not the.
like sort of like no problem or
No, yeah, no problem,
Or
it's
it's
okay, or I'm fine, don't give me more, you know, if it's, and I might have had this backwards, this might be the pile that they didn't get, so.
and because
Because, okay.
To bring
Yes.
a thing.
Yes. Right.
To bring a person.
Hi.
Take a phone call.
Hi.
Shower. What do you do? Take a shower.
Hi.
Smoke a cigarette.
Hi.
Tough situation.
Hi.
Edit the
Hi.
this week.
Hi.
CD.
Hi.
Yasu is to take a break.
Hi.
Time off.
Shinu.
To
To
die.
die.
Hi.
Asobu.
Hi. Yeah.
Hustle. Piecing.
Personal.
Hi.
Denki.
Electricity.
Hi.
Sugi.
Motsu. To carry.
Hi.
Harry.
Mother. Window.
Cage.
Cage.
Then
Then
shot.
shot.
Train.
Train.
Hi.
Shower. Shower.
Kanji. Kanji.
Yeah. So, okay, yeah, those were the ones that they were good with, and then the rest of these were the ones that they were not as comfortable with, so.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay, is this a not so good one, or?
That's a good one.
Is- Yeah, okay.
Right away.
Right away, yeah. Keep this one in the practice some more pile.
Probably.
We could just probably stick with the same ones. as
Yeah.
previous.
That's
Yeah,
probably fair.
probably.
So it wouldn't be so.
It'll be easier for me to keep
Yeah.
track of, yeah.
Wasureru, to forget.
Forget.
Right.
Tsukeru.
Turn on.
はい。つけます。So for example, コンピューターをつける、電気をつける、like that.
When did you use real verbs as opposed, like, when the verbs in their word form is like,
The dictionary form is casual present tense, so it's the equivalent of mas form for casual speech, and it also works in certain grammar structures. So just like we're learning te form as a way of connecting to certain things, like te kudasai, te mo ii desu, te, and then comma, and then the next action, those are all functions that te form serves, right? Dictionary form, short form verbs fit into certain other grammar structures where you wouldn't use te form, you would use short form instead. Okay, so dictionary form, among other things, serves grammar purposes. Okay, and there's also, like I said, it's the casual version of mas form. So if you're telling somebody more formally, ima tabemasu, I'm gonna eat now. If you're telling your best friend, real casual, ima taberu. Okay? So this one is
Tatsu, to stand.
to stand. Right?
Ofuro ni haeru. Take a bath.
Right?
United
Next year.
Right?
Raishu, next week.
Right?
Yoru, night.
Right?
Shinryo, municipal hospital.
Right? Okay.
Kyoto, textbook. Obama,
grandma.
Right?
Okane, money.
Yukuri, slow. Atode,
Later on.
Later on, after, ato, yeah. This ato kanji, which we're not learning yet, but it's the same kanji that's the go in gogo. Not the go that's in gozen, but the second one that's go, like in gogo. That one is, the second go of gogo is after, it's like noon after.
Do both of Gozen and Gogo use the noon kanji?
Yeah, they both use noon, so it's gozen and go. The first go in both of those phrases is the noon one, and then zen is before, and the second go is ato, after. And the particle de is the particle de.
Oshiru, to teach. Kareru,
Borrow.
Right.
Hairu, to enter.
Scowl,
To use.
Yeah, to use scowl,
kaisu,
To return.
to return, yeah.
migosu,
Baggage.
Baggage, yes, luggage.
ofuro, bath.
Dedu.
Exit.
Exit, right.
Osoru, do something late.
Yes, to do something late, to be late. Osoku
Is that?
kimashita, I came late. Osoku narimashita, I became late. Well, we haven't done osoku nemashita, went to bed late.
開ける
はい。
降りる
To get on.
Get off, like disembark, get off the train, get off the bus, like that. 降りる。
閉める
To close.
はい。
And
Sit
down.
down.
To help.
Yes, to help.
座る
To sit down.
はい。座る is to sit.
急
To
ぐ
hurry.
Oh, so that's like
To-
isogashi
Hi,
or like
never thought about it, but they might be related terms. I'm not sure, but isogu isogimasu is to hurry up. Isoide kudasai, please hurry, you know. Yeah, I'm not sure if isogashi is a related term or not, actually.
do they
That's
have
interesting.
kanji?
Isogi. I would have to look at the kanji side by side to remember if they're even the same. What,
Isogu.
does it show the kanji for isogu?
Yeah.
I think it does.
The last one.
I think it's Q.
Isogashi.
Yeah, they're different kanji, I'm
Oh,
pretty
okay.
sure. Yeah. That's interesting though, that they happen to sound that close. Isogashi, I'm pretty sure is,
Sounds very related.
heart and.
Yeah, those are different.
Yeah, they're very different.
Yeah.
Isogu is to hurry, to rush. To erase, as in kokuban no keshimasu. And this thing, by the way, is called a kokuban keshi. Board eraser, as opposed to keshigomu, which is a pencil eraser. Okay, our kanji. Yeah, we just left all the kanji in the practice of more pile for now. Hai, minami.
South.
Hai,
5 分
hai,
5 minutes.
hai, gofun. Hai. And we talked about the fact that the fun changes pronunciations and some of the numbers shift their pronunciations depending on the combination. But fun is for minutes past the hour, so like juji gofun would be 10:05. And then fun kan, you remember the kan from like ichiji kan for 1 hour of duration? Gofun kan would be 5 minutes in duration. So how long is it gonna take you to do that? You know, if you say sanjukpun kan, that means it's gonna take you 30 minutes. Not that it's 30 minutes past the hour on your clock. Make sense?
Sensei.
Hai, sensei. This is what sensei looks like in kanji. Right, sensei.
大学生。
大学生。
Hai,
北口
hai, hitaguchi,
North exit.
north exit. And the way to kind of use a mnemonic for that is it kind of looks like it's pointing north, like on a compass. So, hitaguchi.
Deguchi. Exit.
Exit, right?
Migi.
Right, Migi is right, and
Hidari.
is left. And one of the ways we talked about in my other class to differentiate these is I think of this as looking like the flat of the hand, like you can see the lines on the palm for hidari, and migi looks like you're making a fist. So if you actually physically do that when you're saying them, migi, hidari, it helps you kind of get it in your brain. And also, when you do like martial arts, this thing, it's the right hand is the fist. And also when you do, you know, do you guys know rock, paper, scissors is originally from Asia? So jang, ken, pong, they usually use the left hand as the flat base, and they start with a fist, and then they, you know, like usually do Janken-pon, aiko desho, aiko desho, you know, and they do it from this as like the table, you know. So that's a way to remember hidari, migi.
The whole open palm thing makes more sense if you think about the left part of the top stroke being where your thumb would be if they were in that position.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, if you look at it on, like, this is the side of your finger here, and this is, you can almost see an E in the lines, the katakana E in the lines of your hand. So that kind of makes sense. And then migi, you're making a fist. Okay, so that might be a mnemonic that works for some people. Might not work for everybody, but it's a thought anyway. Nishi,
West.
which is west, yeah. And it's got shi in it, which sounds like yon, shi, right? And it looks kind of like a shi, nishi. And if you think about it in terms of, if you start from the north, which is kind of a Western concept anyway, to start from the north and you go around this way, clockwise, you know, kita, higashi, minami, nishi, it's the fourth one if you go around that way. So that's a way to maybe remember nishi.
Higashi.
Yeah, higashi,
East.
which is east, and again, it's the sun coming up behind the trees, sunrise with the trees in the way. Higashi, kita, on the north, and then minami was the first one we had, I think, but just to give you another, the mnemonic I gave the morning class was that in traditional Chinese culture, buildings were normally built facing south, and even whole cities in ancient times were built with like the main gates to the south and the palace facing the south and everything like that. And this, where's the opening? Down to the south. So that's a way to kind of think about it anyway. That
Any
might help.
particular reason I did that?
I think it has to do with China being so far north that the southern direction was warmer year-round than facing north. So if the house was facing south, if it was southern exposure, it got more sunlight throughout the year, and you know, I think like the snow would pile up more on the north side of the house than on the south side of the house maybe, and so it was a little easier to dig yourself out in the middle of winter. And, you know, they tended to like a south-facing hill as a spot for cemetery, because it was like a better location, you know, so it's kind of interesting. So minami, kita,
Daikokuji.
right, like Kukujin, foreigner. And by the way, in terms of handwriting, this usually does not connect when you're writing it by hand. See how
Oh.
this cuts
Yeah.
through? Normally that line does not cut through. When you're writing it by hand, it should look like a katakana ta and a katakana to next to each other, very close to each other, but not actually connecting. So it should, this part should be more of a katakana to, not the cross piece coming through like that. Make sense? So, daikujin, jupun, yes, that's the reading for that one.
Gakuse.
Right.
Minami.
Yeah, Minamiguchi, which is a
Yeah.
south exit or south entrance, depending on which way you're going. It's like a south opening in like, you know, train station or whatever. Yeah. So you can call it the south exit, but It also works as an entrance very often. West exit, yeah, and, same deal.
大学看護師
はい
大きい
はい、大きい。はい。
東口
はい、東口、east exit,
and
exit,
外国
外国、
more country
foreign country, and
中
中国
China, right? Okay, so some of those we ended up leaving in this pile just because they were in this pile for one class, but it seems like you guys have more of them than they did. So I'm gonna see if I can get this paper clip to kind of hold these. These this way so that hopefully I can remember which ones are which for next time. Okay, so let's look at, okay, so last class, did we finish to the end of part C? I've got part C marked, but I don't remember how far along we got.
I think we got up to like 5 or 6.
Okay, so please bring me the textbook would have been,
We don't
oh, yeah. So let's just kind of start, let's start from Bethany for a change. And just go down the row. So please bring the textbook. Let's just start with number 5, since you
Okay.
remember having done part of it.
So, alright. 教科書を where are we at? So it's 持ってくる
Yeah.
持ってきて
はい、持ってきて、
So 教科書を持ってきてください。
持ってきてください。
持
Yeah.
ってきてください。
はい。That is a tongue twister, isn't
Wait,
it?
so you changed the ku to the ki?
Yeah. Kuru changes to 来て。
Oh, because it has kuru, not just
Yeah.
ru.
Right, 'cause
Okay.
kuru is irregular, remember?
Okay.
So 持ってくる、so 持ってきてください。
持ってきてください。
はい。Let's
Tongue
all
twister.
practice saying that one because it is
Good.
kind of a tongue twister. So 持ってきてください。
持ってきてくだ
持
さい
ってきてください。
持ってきてください。持ってきてください。持ってきてください。持ってきてください。Easier? Okay, so just keep practicing ones like that that are
I don't like the
strong or
ta
difficult
and
to
then
say.
something else no ta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just hurts my brain.
連れてきてください
You get used to it eventually. So 持ってきてください。Please bring it. So 教科書を持ってきてください。じゃあ6番。
漢字を教えてください。
はい。
本を返してください。
はい。
ゆっくり話してください
はい。9番. Any idea? You missed the whole explanation of TEF forms, so yeah, we'll have to get together and get you caught up. Okay, じゃあ、
So I get that one.
さん So ゆっくり話してください was the last one, so 9番.
Is there a to come verb or just the
Come is 来る,
Oh,
right?
oh, okay.
Yeah, so,
I'm getting all worked up
Yeah.
on these ones. Alright, so kuru, so kite.
yeah, so with
So-
me would be,
一緒に
一緒に来てください。
来てください。来てください。
It's just the 来て。
Yeah. The kuru changes to 来て.
Okay, so 来て。
Kiru to cut changes to kitte, and then kiku to listen changes to kiite.
Not confusing at all.
So, yeah, so
So 一緒に来てください。
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 はい。So, kiru, de, kiku, kite. Okay, so these three are very close in pronunciation. Let me show you how to distinguish them more clearly. Okay, kite, kite kudasai. The emphasis, kite kudasai. Kite kudasai. The emphasis is stronger on the te. It's not really accent in the same sense that English does it though. Kite kudasai, kite kudasai. It's in a way it's pitch. Te is a higher pitch than ki in that one. Kitte kudasai, the ki is the higher pitch. Kiite kudasai, kiite, it's flatter. Kiite kudasai, and longer.
Yeah, Vietnamese does that too.
Yeah.
Most of them, like, there's no way for emphasis.
Uh-huh.
Most of the emphasis is on the first word, first like letter or
Yeah.
sound. And so they use the
Pitch.
all the crazy things to put where the pitch is,
Yeah.
and it's insane. I'm like, oh, I can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, so Japanese is not considered fully tonal the way Chinese is, where the same syllable can have different tones, but it has pitch accent, which means that the same two or more syllables can be different pitch on the two different syllables, and that's how you tell the difference sometimes. So you've got, phrases like, or words rather like ame, and ame. One is rain, the other is candy, and the only difference between them is pitch accent. And unfortunately, since I spent a year in Tokyo and then also a year in a place that reverses all the pitch accents in their local dialect, I have them all totally mixed up now.
So I mean, is it more of a colloquial thing?
It is a dialect thing. So standard Japanese does it a certain way, but in certain regional areas where they still speak their regional dialect, they actually reverse all the pitch accents. So the one that meant candy meant rain and vice versa. Yeah. Yeah. So, but for kuru, the pitch accent goes high-low, but the te form it reverses. Kite kudasai, kite kudasai. Kitte, it goes high-low again. Kitte kudasai. Kiite kudasai. Kiite is flatter. Okay? So hopefully that helps. Okay.
I don't know if it helped pitch.
Yeah.
She's used to it.
Yeah. So,
It's really funny because my parents,
Yeah.
since they have to do that, they don't really understand emphasis in English.
so they, yeah.
They'll try and say Chipotle, and so it's so the emphasis is like more in the middle. No, they say Chipotle. So
Yeah.
it sounds like either Chipotle or Chick-fil-A, and on the phone you don't understand. You're like,
Yeah.
do you want chicken sandwiches, insurance, or burritos?
Okay, moving on. So, 一緒に来てください。来てください。
明日、私に電話をかけてください。
かけてください。はい、かけてください。はい。
あなたの友達を連れてきてください。
連れてきてください。連れてきてください。
連れて
連れてきて
ください。
はい、連れてきてください。So it's again, it's just 来て。 連れてきてください。連れてきてください。連れてきてください。連れてきてください。
連れてきてください。
So, like, 連れてきてください. Those are the high points in the sentence pick. 連れてきてください. 連れてきてください. Okay? So it takes a lot of practice to say some of these correctly. And some of them, you're just going to have to say them slowly until you get comfortable. Yeah. 連れてきてください. Yeah, it's really hard to get some of these, just, you know, some of them you feel like you just can't spit it out that fast because of the combination of syllables involved. So you just kind of have to practice until you get comfortable.
You get to train where it's literally every single consonant possible smushed together. And
Right.
like,
Yeah, so 友達を連れてきてください. So, part D. じゃあ、どうぞ。Julian さん, you're
Wait, what?
reading the example, right? Or no, she did.
I did the last
She
one.
did the last
I
one.
can
So,
do the example.
ランドさん. はい。
窓を開けてください。
はい. Okay. So you're just gonna listen for now, Marion, because you haven't learned how to do this yet. So, 1番, Masaniさん.
So let's see, that'd be thank you. Turn on. つけてください.
Okay. It depends on how you're interpreting the picture, really. If you
Oh,
think
it's
she's
already on,
telling
isn't
him
it?
to turn it on, then
That makes
thank you,
sense.
tsukete
That
kudasai.
makes
If you
more
think
sense. It has a
she's
little-
telling him to turn it off, then you would say,
Let's see. Turn on is kesu.
"Hai,
So keshite.
hai,
Keshite.
hai."
Is that with,
Yeah. So, 消してください. 電気を消してください.
Okay.
消す、消して.
消して. 電気を消してください.
はい.
立ってください。
はい. That's possible, but to me it looks like she's saying, "Please come with me."
So that would be the 一緒に来てください。
はい、一緒に来てください. Right? Doesn't it look like that for that context, you know? はい.
椅子を座ってください。
あ、椅子に座ってください. Or just 座ってください. You know, most of the time if there's a chair right there, it's pretty obvious that they mean in the chair. 座ってください. You know, 椅子に座ってください is fine, but you can just as well say 座ってください for please sit down. Okay, どうぞ.
I'm not really sure what they're saying.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think he's saying hurry up already, and she's saying wait. I'm not done yet.
Okay.
So,
So then, he's saying like, he's so. Soide?
はい、急いでください. Yep, hurry up please. And she's saying, please wait, so,
Yeah, I'm not sure what it was.
what's to wait?
So
Matsu.
Matsu, okay,
Yeah.
so he's like, Isoide kudasai, and she's like, Mate kudasai?
Exactly.
Okay.
待ってください.
Yeah, alright.
急いでください. 待ってください.
そう、毎日待ってよ。
Yeah. Okay, and then the last one.
窓を閉めてください.
はい、窓を閉めて kudasai. I'm freezing here, there's too much wind.
寒いです。
はい、寒いです
と
よ
っ。ても寒いです。
はい、とても寒いですよ。窓を閉めてください。Okay, so now we can do just whatever request you want. So you want to just read the example first and then we can take turns.
Okay. コーヒーを飲んでください。
So you can pretend.
Actually, do French.
はい。Okay, so now you make up something for Brandon to do.
Rip off my post-it note because it's in the way.
はい。
教科書を開け、what did I write? 開けてください。
You already did. Hi.
Alright.
開けてください. Okay, and now, Fano-san, you want to come up with something?
Okay, let's see. Sensei o tate kudasai.
You're telling the teachers, telling someone to stand with the teacher? Sensei o tatte kudasai is like you're
Oh.
making someone stand me up. Like I'm an object.
Ouch.
It would just be like sensei, pause,
Tatte kudasai.
Or would
Yeah.
you say like sensei wa?
No, just
Sensei?
sensei.
Because you're just.
ちょっと立ってください. And to make it politer, you can actually use ちょっと. It doesn't mean like just stand a little bit. It means like you're softening the request.
I didn't think it'd be so
So
complicated.
it's like in so many different ways.
Yes, but te kudasai structures are mostly used to request something from somebody who's a social equal or lower status than yourself. So if you're asking a teacher for something, if it depends on what it is, but there are times when it works and there are times when it sounds a little bit rude actually. So you gotta be careful with that one.
Okay, so if I said to like Julianne,
Yeah,
tate kudasai, that'd be better?
yeah, that
Oh,
works
okay.
better.
Alright, so it's just authority
Yeah.
formality, okay.
Yeah,
Alright,
yeah. So tatte kudasai sounds a little bit like you're bossing somebody around. So, yeah, it's hard to explain it because it doesn't have that same feeling on every verb. But some of them, it just sounds like, why are you telling me to do that? You know?
Sounds-
It's the whole making
not like
it
it's
into an
a
imperative
Tuesday,
statement
but it's
thing,
like-
I guess,
Yeah.
of something that can be. I don't know.
Yeah.
I get what you're getting at.
So, 座ってください, you notice in the scenario they gave you, 座ってください, it's the teachers telling the student, 座ってください. Yeah, if you were asking somebody older or superior status, you would probably use like どうぞ座ってください. And then there's a much politer way that doesn't get taught until Green Book.
gomen-nasai.
Yeah, 大丈夫です. Okay, so 立ってください. So what else can you come up with?
Let's see. What do I have? 電車を降りてください。
電車から
電車から。
降りてください. Yeah, I believe they use kara most of the time. Let's see, do they show anything? Oh, they use o. Okay, 電車を降りてください.
I didn't even
It just
see that.
sounds weird with o to me.
Yeah, since it's like a location.
Yeah, kara is common, at least colloquially, I think. 電車から降りる, 電車を降りる. I guess you can use it with o. 電車を降りてください. I think part of the reason it sounds weird is because it's o, and so the particle o gets lost when people pronounce it quickly, so
Okay.
it sounds odd. I'm just not used to hearing it, probably because native speakers drop it so much of the time or use kara instead.
Okay.
はい、どうぞ。
この CD を聞いてください。聞いてください。The
There you
flat
go.
one. Okay.
聞いてください。
Just
Yeah.
force myself to use those
Yeah.
near homophones.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, those are challenging. So it's a good idea to keep practicing them as much as you can. じゃあ、パート2を見てください。See, now I can use 見てください to you guys and you understand it. So, はい、パート2を見てください。So, テレビを見てもいいですか? So, just to break this down, okay? So you're going to use whatever the TED form is, right, of whatever, and then mo, and then I desu ka. Now, does everybody remember what the I desu ka means by itself?
So
Is that
good.
good?
Is it good? Okay, so is it good or okay or fine? It, depending on the circumstances, it could have connotations that are closer to any one of those three in English, right? Mo, in previous lessons, we learned it meant
Or like
also, okay? So obviously this is an idiomatic expression, it's a set expression, so it doesn't translate exactly literally, but if you think of it as asking, is it okay if I also do this action? That's a way of thinking about it that helps you understand what it's doing, because it's really asking for permission, may I do X? But if you think about it as, is it okay if I do X? Then it helps you remember the structure, right? So, te mo ii desu ka? But it's really important that you know that it's the mo particle here and not some other particle. Okay? Because this is, like I said, it's a set expression. You can't just put whatever particle you want in there. It has to be mo. Okay? So, te mo ii desu ka is, may I do X? Is it okay if I do X? And so the te form can be for any verb that you would be asking permission to do. Okay? Now, if you're answering with, yeah, sure, that's fine, there are a couple of options. You can say, just, はい、どうぞ. Sorry, it would help if I wrote it in the correct order. はい、どうぞ. Sure, go ahead. Yeah, that's a nice, easy way to answer. Or, はい、いいですよ.
Can that ketko desu that we learned work?
In this context, kekko desu sounds very formal. So it sounds like, let's say, I'm, you know, a big famous sensei that everybody's very respectful toward, and I'm asking, you know, I'm visiting you in your class or your dorm room or your home or whatever, and I say, you know, like, I'm asking permission for something that for you it's like, well, of course you can, it's what it's there for. And so, like, you know, you've put out all kinds of cakes and pastries to host me, and I say, 食べてもいいですか? もちろんいいですよ. Please have, you know, 結構ですよ. It sounds odd.
Okay.
結構です.
So
Yeah.
would you use ketko more like as if somebody's offering to do something for you?
I'm trying to think if it were the other way around. I think, actually, I think I had it backwards. I think if the lower status person was asking, may I do this? And the higher status person could say, はい、結構です. Yeah, that's fine. But it's honestly, 結構です in that context, it almost sounds like you're, that's acceptable. You know, it's kind of
It's just
formal.
kind of a strange
It's a little
phrasing
bit
for
strange.
it.
I
Okay.
desu yo or dozo
Alright.
are more likely with this kind of asking permission.
Okay.
してもいいですか? はい、いいですよ. はい、どうぞ.
Would you respond negatively with like yokunai desu or something?
We're gonna get to that next. That's actually the next segment is refusing permission or telling you what you're not allowed to do. So
Okay.
for now, we're just gonna practice with the giving permission style, and then when we get to that other grammar structure, we'll work with that. The other way to say, no, you're not allowed would be like, iie dame desu. But they don't actually teach that phrase in this chapter, so we're not gonna get into that really for now. So, whose turn is it to read? Dozo. So go ahead and do the example for us to start with.
テレビを見る。テレビを見てもいいですか?
はい、
Oh
見
my
ても
God.
いいですか?
What was that?
So let's try to just practice saying that since that was a hard one. So, テレビを見てもいいですか? 見てもいいですか?
見てもいいですか?
It's not 見て, it's 見て.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. 見てもいいですか? Remember, the small tsute is a conjugation for the u verbs that end in utsu and ru. But miru is a dictionary, is a ru verb. So, miru mite.
見て.
Okay? So, in general, 食べて、見る、見て、見る、見て、見てください。見てください。見てください。Yeah, I think in general, the two-syllable te forms that are just a letter plus te with no small tsu in them, in general are going to follow the same pattern as kite, where the te is the higher pitch. So, 見て、見てください。来てください。The te that has a small tsu in front of it, that shifts the pronunciation so that the first syllable gets the higher pitch. So, 来てください. The ki is higher pitched. You know, 行ってください. The e is higher pitched. Now, all the ones that take small tsute, the first syllable is going to be the higher pitch, I think. But the ones that don't have a small tsu, there's just two syllables, like hite, mite, those are going to be te with a higher pitch. Does that help? So, テレビを見てもいいですか? And so the reply would be,
はい、どうぞ。
はい、いいですね。じゃあ1番どうぞ。
タバコを吸う。タバコを吸ってもいいですか?
はい、どうぞ.
吸ってもいいですか? はい。
What would you use to turn that down normally? Just like,
いいえ、ダメです would be like, no, you're not allowed. No, it's not okay. But that one's very strong and can come across as rude. 吸ってはいけません is the structure that we're going to be learning next. So that's on the next page. But for now we're just saying yes to all of the requests.
Okay.
We're just going to practice
easy.
the yeses for now, and then we'll look at the other structure after.
okay. So, 窓を閉める and 窓を閉めてもいいですか?
はい、閉めてもいいですか?
はい、いいですよ。
はい、閉めてもいいですか? Yeah, even that one, 閉めてもいいですか? It's like 閉めて. It's kind of starts high and comes down in pitch. 閉めてください. 閉めてもいいですか? 閉めて.
閉めてもいい
Because it doesn't have a small tsu in it.
Did I say it like it?
No, I'm just pointing out that that's another example of the pitch accent being higher at the beginning when there's no small tsu involved.
Okay.
because shimeru, shimemasu, it's another root verb, right? So shimete kudasai. So the first syllable gets the higher pitch on those.
朝シャワーを浴びる。
はい、どうぞ。
Oh,
Wait,
no, I haven't
Wait,
done the
oh,
T form.
what? Oh, I'm not paying attention. I'm
朝
sorry,
シャワー
I'm
を
so
浴びてもいいですか？
浴びてもいい
浴び
ですか？
てもいいですか？シャワーを浴びてもいいですか？
sorry. はい、どうぞ。
Right, so, 浴びてもいいですか? So again, even though it's 3 syllables, not 2, it's still following that same rule, it seems like, of the first syllable being the highest pitch. 浴びてもいいですか? 浴びてもいいですか? はい、どうぞ。
遅く、I'm just gonna read my sentence because I have it written down. 遅く帰ってもいいですか? I don't know.
帰ってもいいですか? 遅く帰ってもいいですか?
いいですよ。
Right. So, you know, because again, this is like the asking the host family, right? Is it okay if I come home late? You know, like asking if you've got a curfew or not in your Japanese host family. じゃあどうぞ。
友達を連れてくる。Okay. 友達を連れてくる。
はい。
So, 友達を連れてきてもいいですか?
はい。友達を連れてきてもいいですか？はい。連れてきてもいいですか？連れてきてもいいですか？連れてきてもいいですか? I'm trying to hear where the pitch goes. 連れてきて Yeah, yeah, just like that. 連れてきて So it goes up on the re and the te.
連れてきてもいいですか?
Hi, that sounded good. Did that make it any easier to say?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think if you really pay attention to pitch accent, it can actually help your pronunciation a lot.
People get stuck on the 2 Ks, I think.
Yeah. 連れてきてもいいですか?
連れてもいいですか?
Right. Yeah, you're all sounding better now that you're paying attention to pitch accent, so I think it's helping. どうぞ.
Alright,
6
six,
番.
okay.
はい。
音楽を聴く and that's okay, so that one's the 聞いて
はい。
is that
聞いて、聞いて。はい。
聞いて Alright, so 音楽を聴いてもいいですか?
はい、どうぞ。
はい
夜出かける becomes 夜出かけてもいいですか?
はい、どうぞ。
はい。出かけてもいいですか? はい。
朝ごはんを使ってもいいですか?
はい。
はい、いいですよ。
はい、いいですね。パソコンを使ってもいいですか? Notice that the pitch goes high on the syllable before the small 2 in this case. 使ってもいいですか? 帰ってもいいですか? When you've got a small 2, the syllable before the small 2 is the one that goes high. So, 切って、使って、帰って. Do you hear it? So it does make a difference. And I think it does help make it a little bit smoother and easier to pronounce too. はい、じゃあ9番どうぞ。
自転車を借りる。
はい。
So, 自転車を借りてもいいですか?
Oh, no.
Yeah, you're answering.
I am,
借りて
okay.
もいいですか?
I'm sorry, I zoomed out.
はい。
Okay, はい、どうぞ.
はい、いいですね。Okay, so now we're going to start making sentences off of the English prompts. So see what you can come up with for Ichiban.
I don't have an example. Okay. Alright, so. Oh, it's like little scenarios.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
And we'll
Like-
just keep doing where you ask for permission, she says yes. You ask
Okay.
for permission, she says yes. And
to toire or then you use iku.
Toire,
Iku, like the verb iku.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but it's not gonna be o.
ni.
There you go.
Okay, so iku, ite.
Itte. You remember it's that exception, right? The small tsu.
Yeah,
Itte.
okay.
It's not iite, it's itte.
Ite.
Itte.
Ite.
はい。い
Okay.
small tsu te.
Ite.
Itte.
Ite. Alright, so トイレに行ってもいいですか?
はい、いいですよ。
はい。いいですね。
Okay, so. うちに帰ってもいいですか?
はい、いいですよ。
はい。
明日宿題を待って持ってきてもいいですか?
It's so hard to say, isn't it? 持ってきてもいいですか? So again, if you're paying attention to pitch accent, let's look at how it works out. 持ってきて, right? So based on what we just figured out about where pitch accent goes high or low, it's up and down and then back up again like that. So 持ってきてもいいですか? Okay, so try and see if you can smooth it out a bit.
明日宿題を持ってきてもいいですか?
持ってきてもいいですか? There you go.
It's too many like
It's too,
similar things.
Yeah.
Like 2 moles and then 2 tens and
yeah.
blah.
持ってきてもいいですか? Yeah, it is a mouthful. So you just keep practicing, that's all. So let Brandon answer.
はい、いいですよ。
はい。Such an understanding teacher. じゃあ次。4番ですね。
英語を話してもいいですか?
英語を話してもいいですか? Yeah, or, yeah. 英語を話す。Yeah, 英語で話す could also work. Can I use it in English? Yeah, can I speak in English? 英語で話してもいいですか? Sure. Yeah, usually, I think hanasu usually gets used with o, but sometimes it gets used with de, so. Yeah, I think either one works. Yeah, 英語話してもいいですか? Okay. And so you can give him permission.
はい、どうぞ。
はい。
Thank you.
はい。じゃあ5番。
写真を撮ってもいいですか?
いいですよ。
はい。So, if the room is too dark, what do you do?
お、電気を電気をつけてもいいですか?
は
電気をつけ
どうぞ。
い、はい、いいですね。Okay. Let's see, I've lost track of time. Okay, so, let's see, ask your partner if it's all right to do the following things. Okay, let's see how far we can get in the little bit of time we have left.
タバコを吸ってもいいですか?
いいですよ。どうぞ。
And then the other way.
すみません、ちょっと。
Okay, so this is a politer no, rather than saying ダメです, which is like, that's terrible. You know, that's really can be really rude.
You do that to your friends when you're making fun of them? Or no?
You can, yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
that's a terrible idea.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's one thing with friends, but in a situation where you need to be polite, which is what this is supposing, sumimasen, chotto, is a safer, polite answer when you really don't want them to do it, but you don't want to be rude to them either.
Would it also be in like a really urgent situation, like don't stick that in the power outlet or something? Or,
ちょっと待って would get people's attention faster. Yeah, yeah. Wait a minute. Yeah. So if it's more of an emergency, you might start with like ちょっと待ってください and then すみませんそれはちょっと危ないんですよ. Yeah, that's kind of dangerous. But also most of the time, unless it's like, I don't know, something where the danger is not obvious, most of the time an adult is going to know not to do stuff that's dangerous,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And if you're telling a kid, you don't have to worry so much about the politeness thing. So let's see, whose turn is it to?
私。
はい、どうぞ。
夜電話をかけてもいいですか？
いいですよ。
はい、どうぞ。
I can add the door.
Either way, いいですよ、どうぞ. Yeah, like the
Sounds
dozo
like-
almost sounds like you're handing it to him.
Okay.
Like 夜電話かけてもいいですよ。いいですか？いいですよ、どうぞ。いいよ。はい。じゃあ2番どうぞ。
ペンを借りてもいいですか？
いいですよ。どうぞ。
はい。どうぞ。3番。
窓を開けてもいいですか？
はい、いいですよ。
4番。
テレビをつけてもいいですか？
すみません、ちょっと。
Right. Okay. Should we finish the last two? We're a minute past.
It's
But
not as
Go ahead.
we can finish the last couple. Be ready to go on.
はい。ジュリアンさんの電話を使ってもいいですか？
Okay, do you want me to answer it?
Sure.
はい、いいですよ。
Hi. Okay, I'll let Bethany ask next.
So,オードリーさんの部屋に行ってもいいですか？
すみません。ちょっと。
そうですか。はい。いいですね。
綺麗じゃないで
Okay.
すか？
綺麗じゃないです。
なるほど. So that kind of gets everybody understanding how to do it, right? Okay. So the next structure for you guys to work on for homework will be the te wa ikemasen,
Polite refusal.
the polite refusal. Something or other is not allowed. Okay. And then go ahead and look at, well, I think some people already kind of got the idea of the te and then the second verb for the continuing actions stuff. We'll probably get to some of that next class. And we might even get to the kara stuff where you give reasons for things. And then the final structure after that is mashoka with a slightly different meaning than the mashoka we've already had. Yeah, it's the same grammar structure, it just has a slightly different interpretation in the